Kegley, and I am a Saugus Centurion, class of 2023. I wanted to let everyone know that I am doing well and I am at home with my family. I wish I could be there tonight, but I'm just not quite ready. But I wanted to tell you all a few things about my best friend. I have known Gracie Ann Muehlberger for 6 amazing years, and I know pretty much everything about her. I've only known Dom since about September, but it's felt like a lifetime because we became such fast friends. While knowing both of these amazing people, I've learned so much about them. Gracie was unique, and she cared about others the way no one else could. Just by being around her was one of the best feelings in the world, and I wish I could be around her just one last time.
So at this point, Cindy's still not at the hospital, and Brady arrives, and I just look him in the eyes, and I said, "Your sister's dead. She's been shot and killed." And he loses it. He cries for a good 10, 15 minutes as well. Calms down, says, "Dad, I need to use the restroom." And so we open up the door to the morning room, and he walks across the hall to the bathroom, and we're all sitting there. He closes the door, and the next thing we hear is punching of walls. And he's in there just punching the hell out of the walls in there. And so we have to go and open the door from the outside. Luckily, in hospitals, you can unlock them from either side. And we get him out, and he's crying. His knuckles are a little bloody. He just felt so upset because he just remembers that morning, seeing her get ready, like she normally would, and he's in a hurry, she's in a hurry. And he's like, "Dad, I didn't even say one word to her."
Dom had a great soul, a kind heart, a loving spirit, and so much more. He could put a smile on anyone's face with just his silly looks, and he could make my day within a second. Dominic was such an amazing person, and I will miss him every single day.
I was just in shock. There at the hospital, even now there's still some level of unrealness to the whole thing because of how horrible it was.
The last time I saw him was in his room, and then that's the last time we saw him alive. And we were just denied the ability to be able to see him and comfort him or even see him after he had died.
I think that just contributed to the making everything unreal. I never saw him at the hospital. I saw him Wednesday night, and that was that. I never even saw him there hooked up to anything, so it just made the whole thing seem even more unreal. It's just something very hard to accept. It still is now. I have my moments, a lot of moments, where it just doesn't seem real.
One of her friends, Raquel, goes to get Cindy. Cindy has really no clue what's going on. She doesn't have her phone. Kind of groggy from anesthesia, so still a little confused. They wheel her in, and she just bawls like I've never seen her cry before in her life.
And nobody had even told me yet. I just knew. I knew going into that room.
Then the detectives come in, the coroner comes in. But we had to go through the process of identifying Gracie, but we weren't able to go see her. So we had to do it via picture. So at this point, I have to look at the picture. And it's my daughter. Never thought in a million years that I'd be looking at a photo of my dead daughter with a coroner in a hospital with a sheriff standing there, a detective, a homicide detective. It was just a surreal drive home. None of it made sense. We got home, we sat down. We already had the Christmas stuff up. House is all Christmas cheery, and here we are walking in without our daughter, and she's still at the hospital. Media starts knocking, calling. I don't don't know how they're even getting our names yet.
Helicopter.
Helicopters over the house, it feels like. We just hear helicopters for the next 48 hours, it feels like.
It's not like he just died of a sickness. Now we have to deal with law enforcement. We have to deal with media. And we didn't really get a lot of time to even just process like what had happened.
That day, the days after, weeks after, I was just in complete shock. We ended up having to sign his death certificate even before we saw him. It's just really hard thing to do.
He was just standing there hanging out with his friends before class. He was exactly where he was supposed to be. Same thing that he does every morning, stands with Mia and they all talk and hang out, just waiting for class to start. It really hurts that, he never got to live to see his full potential and that he was just taken in a place that should have been safe for him.
Good evening, and thank you all for being here. I am Santa Clarita Mayor Marcia McLean. We all are here together as one. The events which unfolded last Thursday at Saugus High School shook our community to the core. It took beloved children from our lives, broke our hearts, and shattered our sense of safety.
I know they carry a certain amount of guilt, like wishing they had been there to push him out of the way, or that's kind of a lot for an 11-year-old to carry on their shoulders. So when he told me that I just cried with him in his bed because I feel guilt too. I'm his mother and I feel like I should have been there to protect him, to comfort him, but I never thought my 11-year-old would feel like that. He's had nightmares. Our now 6-year-old says that he doesn't want to go to high school because there's bad people there. I tell him, don't worry about it. We're not we're not there yet at that point. We'll figure it out when we get to that point.
And to hear like them, that they're having nightmares, like it hurts. And what are you supposed to do about it? We can't get him back. It's just something that we all lost that day. Dominic, we all lost Dominic that day.
We'd heard about the vigil on Friday that they were working on this plan for one. They had asked, if we wanted to speak or something of that sort. And I said, there's no way I can get in front of anybody and speak about her right now. I wasn't talking to any media. I was just, in this weird survival state of mind. All that mattered was my family and my daughter at this point in time.
Definitely heard about it from Gracie's parents, and I was not sure if I could make it just because it had been only a few days and I just didn't want all that attention on me, and I just didn't think I was in the right mind frame to be able to go. But then I felt bad if I didn't go to at least represent Dominic. So we ended up going. We didn't go on stage, but his brother went and family friends went. And our family friend spoke about 2 friends spoke about him.
I've always had a saying, but never has it hit so close to home. God picks special people to do special things. Now more than ever, I see these words to be true. Is it possible a 14-year-old could unite hundreds of thousands of people across the country? Bring an entire community together.
And we spent a good deal of time, 4 or 5 hours, just writing our thoughts about Gracie that we wanted to have shared. And we asked our good friend Stephanie to read it for us.
As Cindy and I struggle with this most painful of all struggles and this horrific tragedy that has occurred to our beloved Gracie, there's a lot of noise out there, so we wanted to push the noise aside and pause and use this opportunity to share with you a little about our baby girl, Gracie.
We didn't want to be just thrown in the crowd. and they said that they could get us in and have a special place set up so we could be away from everybody, and that
A
no
little bit
media
more
would
private.
be.
Yeah, we were worried about media and
Yeah.
privacy. You know, it was going to be a difficult night.
So when they said that they could accommodate us that way, we said, yeah, we'll definitely go if that's the case.
Right. So we get escorted to the vigil. As we're driving down Bouquet, we're seeing just mass chaos. Cars are lined up to get in. There are road signs everywhere directing people. There are cops escorting people everywhere.
It was surreal.
People walking, pulling wagons. Like the whole community was like coming down to one place.
We called her Sweet Pea from a very early age, and she loved the nickname, often referring to herself as Daddy's little Sweet Pea, and often signing her little note cards and notes with "Love Gracie, AKA your Sweet Pea."
You know, it was a very emotional day, as you could imagine, listening to everyone speak about Dominic, about Andrew, about Mia, Addie's beautiful video that she did, and then Steph reading the stuff about Gracie. And I remember at one point in the vigil, there was the glow stick moment where everybody held up these blue and white glow sticks. And I remember standing on the chair and looking out across the sea of thousands of people, all holding these glow sticks, just showing their love and support for us and these families that have been impacted by the situation in a way that I've never experienced in my life.
I mean, when you hear about Saugus Strong, you really, you understand that it's because Dominic and Gracie lost their lives. So to see, the entire community come out, over 15,000 people come to Central Park to, pay their respects to Dominic and Gracie for that reason, it really makes you understand that, the whole community is here and they're with us. And
But just the support we received, so many people here for weeks checking up on us, helping us with the kids, helping us with the baby. I don't think I knew where my own infant was for days. Someone always had him, and they had a chart going on when he needed to be fed next, when he was last fed, last diapered.
The world just stopped. And this is all that mattered, was we need to support each other. We need to love one another and support these families and get through this. We found out that there was over 15,000 people in attendance. It was the largest gathering in the history of Santa Clarita Valley, the largest event ever held in Central Park. This doesn't even include the fact that they had to send away hundreds, if not more, of people because they were at max capacity.
We're still having to take our kids there for practices and activities, and having to act like I'm okay when all I think about is me and the hundreds of other Saugus parents that were there looking for our kids. I get those flashbacks being there all the time, getting the call from my husband that Dominic was at the hospital running. I see that every time I go there. So I think it would be nice for us as his parents, for the community, for those parents that were there in the same boat that we were in, to have something positive come out of this.
I mean, it really seems like a no-brainer that, that's where we would have a permanent memorialization of the lives of Dominic and Gracie.
I went